Hi, welcome to our April 2024 episode of CITV. Lots to show you this month, including the form balls being made to hold the concrete and rebar for the second floor tie beams. And then we see the concrete being poured into the forms to make the horizontal and vertical support for the building structure. Once again, Chris Stenton, the site supervisor, will explain the process to you and the plans for the next few weeks following the concrete pouring into the form boards. Then we will show you the flying steels, not a circus trapeze act, but the critical process of manoeuvring 7,000 pound steel beams from a trailer bed onto the site and then placed in situ around the buildings. A highly technical procedure that Chris again will explain. Then we will show you an even trickier technique, which is the hollow core lift. The same method as with the stills, but this time with a 4 foot wide, 15 foot long, 12-inch thick slab of concrete weighing 5,000 pounds, pirouetted through the air by a tower crane, which I can tell you, as you will see yourself, is one beautiful machine. Finally, you will see the concrete topper being applied to the newly placed and installed hollow core slabs. This will complete the second floor ceiling, which is also the third and final floor. So, just before we go off and show you all this, wonder how we keep all together? Let me show you.
So what did you want to go over?
Well, what I want to do is I want to do the budget variances. That's for me where it's all that, and I've got to get let me get my laptop out as well. And then the other thing I want to do is to go out projected cash flow that's needed between now and the end of the year, or when the next lump is due and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. See here. That's where that window is, and these are probably mistook it for beams, but you look at the cross section. See, they're way smaller than even the beam size that he's specking on the.
There are errors you can pick up. Yeah. Okay. Got that?
Okay.
It's always nice to see the happy smiling face of our site supervisor, Chris Stenton. Anyway, if you look closely, you can see the rebars being formed in the shape of columns ready for form boards to go around them. That will become the container for the concrete that we poured into it. The brownish steel beams that you can see have been put in place as part of the support for the columns. That will be made from concrete and rebar to give strength to the whole structure. Here you see lengths of solid steel tubing that will be fabricated into cage-like structures that will fit inside the form boards, allowing concrete to be poured on top of it to give extra strength to the concrete. We are using over 3 tons of lumber to fabricate the form boards, and during the construction of the shell we will consume hundreds of tons of lumber, concrete and steel. Now, I tried to get the exact quantities for this episode, but everyone was scratching their heads, so I will get those numbers for you next time. We have 15 craftspeople on site that are fabricating the form boards and making the structure ready to receive the steel columns that will be coming in on March the 4th. This is a tightly choreographed construction site where hours count, so that we can keep the cadence of the build going. Working from the plans drawn up by our structural engineers from the architect's plans, each piece of lumber has to be carefully constructed on site and placed in the appropriate place to receive the concrete pour. It's a precise and painstaking job performed by experienced craftsmen. Right now, the whole emphasis is getting the form boards made so that the concrete can be poured by the 28th of February. Okay, so here we are back again.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you know, it's like these are going like very fast. It seems like it's days between filming, but actually it's like, I think the last time we filmed here was about 2 weeks ago. So explain to me what's going on.
Well, today we have a concrete pour for our third floor framing. So essentially we'll be pouring the columns, tie beams, and filled cells. Everything that's going to connect all the blocks around the top and tie all the walls together and the filled cells for structural support. Essentially like a big cap and veins running down to just really secure everything to the deck below. In Florida here, because of hurricanes, these things are pretty much built like bomb shelters. So we got to make sure structurally they can withstand 130-mile-an-hour winds, and they'll do that no problem.
So the thing is that it's kind of a repeat of what we did on the ground floor. Well,
Absolutely.
actually, you called it the first floor here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Where I come from, we call it ground floor.
Ground
and we
floor.
also call concrete cement, but there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to repeat this again, and then how long before we put the hollow core on here?
So we'll finish this pour here today. We'll strip the forms, and then next week we'll start flying in steel beams that'll get welded into place for bracing the hollow core. March 15th, the hollow core panels will come in for the top of the third floor, or the top of the second floor, the roof of the ceiling of the second floor, and the floor of the third floor, and that'll be March 15th. And then after that, we'll put it again, just like last time, we'll put the topping on and smooth everything out, make a nice and level surface for the floor of the third floor. We'll do one more lift for the roof, and then we start with the internals, the rough plumbing, electrical.
And that's when it gets really
HVAC.
exciting. That's when it starts to turn into a proper building.
That's when I start to not sleep at night. Yeah, that's when I start
making sure all the holes are lined up and everything else.
Yeah, making sure
You know,
everything's where it's supposed
I was
to be.
thinking actually. I mean, this is a hotel with a bar, which it actually isn't open yet. Thank God. Anyway, I've stopped drinking.
I got a
it.
friend. I can get it open if you need.
Yeah. And I can't throw a drone up today because it's 25-mile-an-hour gust. So I could throw a drone up, and the likelihood is that it will never ever come back. Well, not in one piece anyway. So this is why we're filming this through our camcorder. And I just realised we walked through this hotel here. We got our hard hats on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Let everybody know we mean business.
Yeah.
That's all.
The only thing that could fall on me right now is a bit of bird poop.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for sharing what's
My
going
pleasure.
on now.
Thank you for being here.
We'll be getting together over the next few months. Actually, hopefully to the end of March, when you hand it over to us,
Yeah.
or to the occupants.
Oh yeah, I'll be here for
Yeah.
sure.
And that'll be a very joyful day for everyone concerned.
Yeah, it's been very interesting, and these videos have been very interesting. I've been enjoying watching them. So
Oh, there you
it makes
go.
it a little bit easier to be a part of. Thank you.
Good. Nice to get a bit of positivity.
Yeah, it's good. You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Okay, catch you later.
Thank you. Hello, we're here today flying steel beams for hollow core support for our third floor. What you'll see behind me is a crane, steel beams that were driven in on a flatbed, pulled off the flatbed, placed them on the ground, and from now we'll be picking these steel beams up and placing them exactly where they belong within the structure, welding them in place so that when we come through with the hollow core, it'll sit directly right on top and support the next deck. So that's what you're seeing here today. Following this step, we will install rebar and form the edges of the deck. The rebar will tie in to the tie beams that we currently have, and then from there we'll after we fly the hollow core, we'll install the rebar and tie into the deck that we currently have, and then after that we'll put our concrete topper on, give us a nice smooth finish on the floor.
It's going to take 56 hollow core planks weighing in excess of £5,000 each to complete the structure of the townhome project. It's fascinating to watch these huge pieces of concrete being lifted from a flatbed truck, then hoisted 60 feet into the air, making sure they do not swing in the wind, and then watch as they are put in the exact place as per the structural engineer's plans. Once these huge concrete slabs are in situ, they then have to be bolted down and secured firmly to the steel and concrete support structure that has been erected and fabricated prior to their arrival. Once all the slabs are laid together, the gaps will be filled with a concrete powder water mix ready for the concrete topper, which will be coming a few weeks later on the 26th of March. To top off each floor with concrete takes between 40 to 50 yards of concrete. Each concrete truck holds about 10 yards, so we will see 4 to 5 concrete trucks arriving at the site to offload their contents into a concrete pump. This pump will then force the wet concrete over the previously laid hollow core slabs. A team of 10 construction workers oversees this pour and spreads the concrete over the entire floor evenly so that each hollow core slab will be interminably bonded with each other. The concrete is smoothed out so the interior flooring will be ready to receive what will be, in our case, vinyl planks. So once this second floor is done, there is only one more floor to go, and then the shell will be completed. Well, thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. It is fun and stimulating to be involved in this project, even though the seriousness of building 3 townhomes is quite daunting, quite frankly. We now seem to have a cadence to the build, and I'm hopeful that this will continue. And we are aiming for the beginning of March 2025 for completion. However, because the third floor construction is mostly the same as the second floor, I feel it's pointless for me to show and repeat the same thing over. So the next time you'll hear from us will be sometime in mid-May 2024, when we'll show you the roof going on to the buildings. Then the work really begins, turning grey concrete into 3 buildings of incredible beauty. Be well, and I'll see you then.